Good morning or afternoon or night. I have no idea when you're watching this, but I've got some info to give you on your SAE assignment. Okay, last week we updated your basic information in your profile in the AET, the Ag Experience Tracker, which is our FFA record book. Now, you guys are going to thank me for this later, probably in October when you can get your check before anybody else can, because you're going to be done with your record book for your county fair animals. So anyway, you guys that have animals at the county fair ought to be excited about this because you'll be done before everybody else will because you're starting now. Okay. Rather than waiting until November to start and wonder what the heck went on all summer long to keep the records in your book. So starting now, it's an assignment, so you have to do it. I'm making you. Lucky you. So let's look at a couple of things on how to do this and what the actual assignment is for this week. Okay. The assignment is to add a project. Okay. So first things first, we're going to log into the AET. Okay. I'm logged in. I created a fake account for me so that I could kind of show you where to go and what to do. I logged in using the same information that I gave you on the assignment that came last time with the AET, the AET profile assignment. So if you can't remember what that information is, go look there. It will tell you. I'm not going to list them all off on YouTube for everybody and their dog to look at, but you guys can find it in the Google Classroom under the AET profile assignment. So go figure out what your username and password is and our chapter number, and then you can sign in. Okay. Should be fairly simple to get to this page if you've got that information. If for some reason you changed your password, I don't know what it is. You have to figure it out. If you can't figure it out, I can reset it for you. So email me if that's the case. All right. So we get to this point. This is our dashboard. Okay. That's right where when you log in, this is the first place it takes you. For this assignment, you're going to go to the Project Experience. Oh, let me highlight it. There it is, Project Experience Manager. And there it went. I clicked on it apparently. So Project Experience Manager, let me show you one more time. Right up here in this little green box, we're going to click on the Project/Experience Manager, or SAE in parentheses. Okay. That takes us to this project manager. You can see I've got one pink line here with a red X next to the pencil and all this kind of stuff because I added a project, but I have not done anything in the project. That'll change. The line will change to white if I start doing something with that project. Okay. For right now, though, it's just a project sitting in my record book without any records. That being said, you guys may have a list of projects there. You may have them in pink, you may have them in white, you may have them in gray. And so there's a lot of different things. You can go back and look at some of the other videos that I've attached to this assignment if you want to see how all those kind of things work. Today is just adding the project, what I'm going to show you anyway, adding the project and what to do with it. Okay, so obviously there's this button here that says add new. Okay, if you can see that one, not over there. Why won't it just click right here? Add new. That's it. Click add new. And then you'll give your project a name. Well, obviously it wants to give it one of my class names, but that's not what we're going to give it. We want to name this project whatever your project is. So let's say it's your market steer for the county fair of 2020. I would put a market steer 2020 in there. Okay, just like that. Maybe it's your market lamb for 2020 that you're going to show at the fair this summer. Just like that. That's what I would name it. Maybe it is a replacement heifer project. Hey, sorry, where was I? Got interrupted. Anyway, back at it. Let's see. In here, replacement heifer project could go right there. Maybe it's job at Kent's Market. Okay, all those things work. Maybe you've got a agri-science fair project, whatever you want to call it. That all works perfect. Okay, so add that in there. Let's name this one Market Goat 2020. Okay. In that case, it is not a foundational project. If it's a market goat, you bought it and you own it, and you're going to feed it and you're going to take care of it and give it medicine, all that kind of stuff. So you own that thing. That's a business, and you'd click entrepreneurship in that case. Okay. If it was a job at Kent's, well, then you're probably doing paid placement. Okay. Getting paid, you get a paycheck. You're not financially invested, okay? Which means if Kent's for some reason loses money, you won't lose money unless they cut your hours back, but that's not you being financially invested. They're going to pay you for the time that you put in with whatever contract they've set up with you, okay? That's paid placement, where you have a job and you work for somebody else. If you are working, let's say in an internship at, let's say the vet, but they're not paying you yet because you're not old enough to work there and something or other, who knows, whatever program you've set up with them. Maybe it's a internship that you've set up with the school, internship class, all that kind of stuff. Usually that's unpaid. You're just going to do it to get some skills and to learn. Unpaid placement is where that fits. Okay. Not financially risk taking in this job. You aren't at risk financially in this job, but in the business where you own the project, you own the cows and the calves and the feed and all that stuff that you're putting into them. That is you owning that project, and you're the one that holds on to that financial risk. So it gets a little sticky though when you've got a market animal that you didn't pay for, and you don't buy the feed, and you don't pay for the medicine. Okay, this is a realistic example. However, and maybe I should go even this way. You don't pay for all that stuff, but you are going to keep the profit when it's sold. Okay. The thing about this is maybe you take that profit and you pay back what your parents put into it all summer long. Maybe you're paying for that animal by working for your parents. Okay. So you are paying for it, just not with cash. All right. So you are still financially invested in that because you're working it off, trading for work instead of for money. So yes, that's still entrepreneurship or ownership. There are some questions there. If you're not sure whether yours is entrepreneurship or placement, a job or a business, then holler at me. I can help you figure it out. We'll work through it. Okay, if this were research or an experiment, something that you would enter in a science fair, then you would choose agri-science, the research experimental type project. If any of you are in that boat, awesome. I think you can do some cool things. If you want to do that but aren't sure how, holler at me. I've got some cool ideas. But that's an option. And you could get started now, especially if you're taking Ag Science 2 next year with Miss Ingram. That'd be a cool thing to get started on. The other option for everybody else that says, nah, on this science project, and no, I don't want to have a job all summer long, or no, I don't want to own a business or take an animal to the fair. I really think you guys are probably few and far between, but those of you that are left are going to be doing a foundational project, which means you're just exploring your options in the agricultural industry. What is out there that you want to get into? And I hope that it's agriculture that you're interested in, because we're in an agriculture class. However, that could be different. I mean, it doesn't have to be, definitely doesn't have to be production agriculture. Maybe it needs to be ag business for you. Maybe it's going to be in the fabrication and welding industry. Maybe it's going to be, it doesn't have to be raising horses. All right. You think of a career that you're interested in and start working towards that, figuring out what it takes to be in that industry. That's going to be your foundational project. And there's lots of resources here on the AET as well as at ffa.org. They've got some awesome resources for you to figure out how to and what to do as a foundational SAE. So go figure those out. There's no financial risk in these. You're not paying, but you're also not making money. Agri-science, generally there's some money to be spent, not generally any money to be made. Hopefully you get somebody to help you with that. Maybe it's a business that needs something figured out and they will sponsor that project and fund that project. A job, again, it might not be paid, but most of the time you guys that are working are doing a job that you're getting paid for. And then you guys that have an entrepreneurship project are raising something or doing something, providing a service or a product that returns a profit back to you. So that's where we're at. Market Goat is entrepreneurship, so I'm going to choose that. There's going to be a experience category. Market Goat is going to fit into an animal system, but there's lots of categories, lots more than just animals here. Okay, agribusiness, biotech, career-ready practices. That's probably going to be in a foundational type area. Education and communication. Environmental service, food products and processing, a foundational project, okay? Natural resources, plant systems, and then power, structural, and technical. So there's tons of options here. Animal systems is where I'm going to go for a Market Goat. And then it gives me some options for a subcategory. Obviously, it's not beef, it's goats. And then I've got some options for what type or category of a project it is. Okay, breeding goats, dairy goats, market goats, or just other goats. This one obviously is a market goat that we're going to take to the fair. So that's the one I'm going to click. And this is very useful in the case of production, animal production. You can run market and replacement animals here. So a replacement heifers, you're going to run a replacement manager. Market animal, you're going to do the market manager. Breeding, so if you've got a bunch of cows or you're breeding horses or you're breeding dogs or goldfish or whatever it is, you're going to use your breeding herd manager to keep track of that. Okay, in our case we'll choose market manager and hit save. That brings me back here, gives me a new line in my project manager. Again, it's pink because I haven't entered any records. Okay, and for this assignment I don't want to see that turn white yet. You can add records for that on the next assignment, but for now the pink line is okay. There's a couple of things that I want you to look at though. Number one is the plan, because that's an important part of having a project, is having a plan. So you'll click on this little pencil icon and there are 3 to 4 tabs in every project. You're going to give it a description, a time investment, a financial investment if it requires it, and then the learning skills that you want to learn, and you'll add them by clicking on this little button right here. Okay. Make sure when you complete this, you hit save all and return, because if you don't, everything you've typed into those text boxes in this page will be erased. So make sure you hit save all and return, and then it'll come back and show that this. Let's see, this cancel. This little red circle here with the X in it will turn green with a check mark in it once you've completed all of the tabs in the plan. Okay, complete that, and that'll be excellent. That should get you rolling for the project. I think we'll wait on some of these other things, but if you'll add the project and add the plan, that's what I want to see. When I pull up our classes in the AET grading report, I will be able to see your project that you have just recently added, and I will be able to see that your plan is filled in. Okay. If you would like to fill in the budget, I think it's worthwhile and you should. Okay. A lot of you aren't going to have a budget. Let's say you're in an entrepreneur, excuse me, you're in a job. There's no budget there. Okay. You don't need to give me a budget. If you are in a foundational project, there's no budget there. So don't worry about it. If you're doing a science project, go ahead and fill out a budget. Figure out what things are going to cost and what you need to plan for. If you're doing an entrepreneurship project, you absolutely need a budget. How much are you going to spend on that animal? How much are you going to spend on feed? How much are you going to spend on vet supplies, on other supplies, show supplies, so on and so forth? If you're raising a cow-calf operation, you want to do that kind of thing. What are your costs? Budget that out. As you know, budget out your expenses as well as budget out your income. What do you think you're going to make off of this project? Okay, give that project a budget. Once you've done that, you'll see these things show up showing that you've got them and you're done and you're set. Financial entries will still have this big exclamation point here because we haven't done any journal entries yet. We'll come back for that in another assignment, but if you'll get this line to where it's here and it's pink, update your budget if you've got one, and make a plan so that it's got a green circle with a check mark in it. Then you're set. Holler at me with any questions. This video is extra long, sorry. Almost 17 minutes long, but I think that will help you get rolling on this assignment. Email me if you've got questions, and have a great day.